And now he's a complete 180 degrees in the completely the opposite direction. He's working with Simon.
Yeah, that was a while.
Yeah,
That was a few weeks ago, and he was who was bragging one time. It might have been Plan C. Who was bragging the one time that they were getting offers to start spreading FUD? Was that a joke, or was that?
That wasn't
do you remember
him.
that?
That wasn't Plan C. He wouldn't be that silly.
Yeah. Somebody was like, "Oh yeah, they offered me $10,000 to start spreading FUD and stuff," and they were, I don't know if they were joking, but
I mean, I just
user 101's trying to scoop up 20K.
Yeah, that guy, that 101's he's a creep. I mean, he classic operator because he tells truthful things. He says a lot of positive things, and then suddenly a couple of tweets come along which are complete bullshit. Total crook, that guy.
yeah.
It was 15K to spread false rumors.
Yeah, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
So if BlackRock is behind FTX and if FTX is behind the shorts, does that mean that it's BlackRock attacking Celsius?
That's the theory.
BlackRock attacking the entire space, man. They lost $1.7 trillion. That's what's going on. They fucked up.
I was going to say BlackRock's not attacking Celsius. BlackRock's attacking the entire globe.
Yeah, that's a fact. They have their hands in everything, literally.
Yep. Did you see that really freaky video about BlackRock? Oh man, I'll see if I can find it.
I've seen a few of them, honestly.
Oh, it's like the perfect movie trailer. It's unbelievable.
Who is it? Larry Finch? Is that his name?
I'm not sure. What are you talking about?
Who owns it?
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
Pretty sure it's his name.
Yeah, we used to. I worked for a recruiting firm, and we used to work directly with BlackRock, and that's before they were so huge. I think they're in Delaware. Yeah, like all the financial companies in the U.S. are in Delaware for tax reasons and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the controversial thing.
It's Larry Fink.
Okay, it was close. Yeah,
Lawrence Fink. Yeah.
They're pretty close with the CCP of China. Like they are.
They literally had their hands all around the globe.
Yeah, no, I wasn't kidding when I said the globe.
Yeah,
they pretty much own the world.
Yep.
If you look at any major business, you'll see BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. They all invest all within the same major corporations and major institutions. They own, I don't know, 30% of like every major I made that number up, but huge percentages of every major company out there. It's insane.
Yeah, and you could essentially say like they own your house because like people think that like when they're paying their mortgage, like it's from the bank, but really it's from like higher up companies like BlackRock.
Oh, it's all lending. It's all institutional lending.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they housed over $10 trillion. I mean, they own everything. They're the largest. They're for sure top 3, but they are the largest.
Yep.
Yeah, and then there's Blackstone because his partner, I can't remember his partner's name, left to do his own thing.
Yeah, my brother used to work for Blackstone.
Mm-hmm.
Early on.
Can't remember that guy's name.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like these guys have more money than the actual government itself because the government is in trillions of debt. They don't have trillions.
Well, see, that's why I'm so nervous about. See, I truly believe that Celsius, BlackRock, and all of its cohorts want Celsius so they can design. Well, they'll have the design, the infrastructure to be both the Federal Reserve for the globe and and the national treasury for whomever, whether it's the U.S. or otherwise. And Celsius is effectively that. And they want to take that, in my opinion, they want to take that and just be the World Bank. That's exactly what this is all about, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they technically are in a way. Stephen A. Schwarzman, that's who owns Blackstone.
You know what? That's a really smart idea. If I was to buy something already in place to take over the digital currency of the world.
Yep.
You're like, we don't have to do anything. We'll just bankrupt this company, buy it for cheap, and then we have it and just build on top of it.
That's exactly what I think.
But you do it all through third parties. They don't want anyone to know what they're doing, and they don't want so it's all going to be done by third parties.
That's such a smart idea. I didn't even think about that, because someone has to house the number one platform for digital currency for the world, right? Eventually.
Yep.
And you got to understand that's the truth. You guys are 100% like on track here. This is what's going on. It's about acquisitions. It's about control. That's what they want. It's fucked up.
That's why they can afford to do these multi-million-dollar FUD campaigns with these douchebag influencers, and they're extremely successful. And I think I don't, knock on wood. I think one of the big things that are stopping them or slowing them down at least are the community and potentially this short squeeze. This might all backfire on them, and I don't know. There's just so much to it. Every time I like close my eyes, like another piece of conspiracy jumps in my head. So it's but I think it's blatantly obvious when you open your eyes and look at it. This is the national bank. This is the new crypto bank everybody wants.
Yeah, I think it's really all about, the idea of having a community-owned bank. That was the model of Celsius, sharing the profits with the community, having the community own the actual bank and defend the bank in case, like it's attacked. And what these people want is they just want to recreate the traditional financial system on top of Bitcoin, and then nothing changes. I mean, Satoshi would have basically invented Bitcoin in vain. If you're just going to recreate what we have already, what's the point of even having Bitcoin?
Right, and they have the whole mining operation too, which I keep saying they're printing gold if they want to, and they'll have that as reserve. So they're going to have the entire infrastructure. Let's say they build out the same infrastructure, they'd have every piece that they need to do this to create that one world bank. And
you're talking peak capitalism. It's the ultimate capitalist outcome of corporations controlling all money, which is the pathway they've been on. And the ultimate goal is to have a currency you can control, which has got not controlled by a government. So you're completely separated from government. You can do what the hell you want, and that's the potential pathway. And so community things, whether that's truly what Mashinsky wanted, I don't know, but whether he made it by accident, he's created this community, which actually, if it survived or does survive, would actually be potentially a true entity and resistance to this kind of corporate global control.
100%.
Yeah, to me, it seems like Mashinsky is really sovereign. That is, the community itself is sovereign. They don't really have to. It's not like a pyramid where the profit has to flow upward. The profit just stays with the community and gets recycled inside the community. Yeah. And I think that's the model that really threatens what world that they have.
That's true. As long as that's what he was doing. I mean, we have to find out. But that was, I think, what was really. But the model was he certainly created the model, and the narrative and the dialogue around it was completely convincing. That's why I put my money into it. So you're investing in a essentially, ultimately a global community as well. It's not related to separate countries. It's globalism on a community scale, which definitely threatens any corporate control globally.
Yeah, think about all they are or they were at least they were, what am I trying to say? Outside of like the early on Coinbase, they were especially with the on-ramps, they were going to become the number one on-ramp for the average Joe to get people into crypto. potentially earn. And you know, I think the reason the reason I still support Alex is because I think he knew all this. I think he knew the only way to do this was to get the support from the community and you know, show it to the world or show it to the big banks or whatever it may be, or whoever. And I think he feels like he failed the community. No doubt he feels like he failed the community, but I think he also understands how incredibly important this infrastructure is, and I think all of us are seeing that now, and that's why I've gone down the conspiracy lane. But there's so many strings you can attach between point A to B to point X to point M. You know, there's way too many coincidences. There's way too many people connected. There's way too many funds being backed, you know, backing this whole thing. And it's just I think we're seeing something. We're at a point that no one's ever seen before in this world.
We're watching history. We're a part of history.
Yes, we're a part of history right now.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
we were the experiment.
Yep.
We were the Celsius community. Sorry, the Celsius community was the experiment to prove the model, and the model was working, and the trajectory was there, as you say, for it to be the ultimate solution for a lot of people coming on onto the platform, because it made perfect sense. So we were part of that proof of model, and it was coming close to the, I don't know if you call it the inflection point, but it was a tipping point of mass adoption, and that had to be destroyed before that came.
Yep.
Yeah, I bet all the other exchanges hated it, because once the market started tanking, a bunch of people took their money off the exchanges and put it in Celsius to earn yield when everything's going down, you know? So I bet they got mad at that.
That's what I did. I only found out. See, I found out about Celsius. I saw Alex on I think I mentioned this not too long ago, on Crypto Banter, and I lost a lot of money through Crypto Banter listening to them. And for some reason I looked up who this guy Alex was, and you know, I'm in IT, and I saw that he had a patent on VoIP. And I looked more into him. I was like, this guy's pretty legit. So, you know, I put all my money, stupidly, I put all my stuff into Celsius when things were kind of on a downturn. So that's exactly what I did. And here we are.
Yep.
And I've been in this space since 2013. I was saying earlier, I bought my first Bitcoin at $4.
I wish I was in there.
Yeah.
I joined late 2019. Right before everything kicked off.
He was really open about the banks were the enemy, with the whole slogan "Unbank yourself." And there is a video of him actually talking about, you know, the way we will know we have won only when highest buildings in the city centers are no longer occupied by the banks. That's when we will know, you know, the banks are no longer our overlords. I mean, that resonated really strongly with me when I heard him say that.
Yeah, when Oregon shuts its doors.
I wish he'd kept his mouth shut, to be honest.
Who, Alex?
Yeah, he's just making himself a target, and I mean, it's rhetoric to a degree, but it's also it also started to look like he was right, and that was it. You know, he became the target.
Yeah, he did.
Anyone who stands for freedom is a target in this world. We got to be powerful, you know.
Yeah.
Wait, did you sell that $4 Bitcoin?
Yeah, for $22. I'd 150 of them.
Oh my god! I did the same things, kind of, back in 2016.
Yeah, and I sold them all in Mount Gox, and I took it off. I got my cash out of there, and I was like, because you know, I was young, and I was like, I'm gonna chance $1,000, and I put it in there, and it was like I was up like $3,000 or something. I was like, yeah, so I cashed it all out.
I remember when Bitcoin was $100 and everyone was talking about how it would never
Yep.
BMOs and that. They were like, everyone was dead set on it. They're like, yep, that's it. It was a fun while it lasted, guys. $100. There you go.
Dude,
Yep.
my buddy's brother was talking about Bitcoin years ago, and I told my friend, I go, dude, tell your brother to stop spamming me and talking about it. It's super annoying. Tell me to go. So I blocked him on all social media and everything about it. And then he ended up making like $80 million or something and retired. And
That's crazy.
I'm like, oh my God. So now anytime anyone ever tells me about some investment idea, I'm like, yeah, tell me more. What's it about?
Hey, well, I have a bridge I can sell you.
If you send me 1 Bitcoin, I'll send you 2.
Oh my God. Somebody actually did that. They were like looking at this, like they were on YouTube and they saw that like we will send you double the Bitcoins that you want. And they actually did that.
Oh my
And they were
God.
like, they waited for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, and the Bitcoins didn't come. So that's when they realized they lost everything. But if you actually watch some of those addresses that these people post, sometimes you see pretty large funds being transferred into them, and you're like, oh my God, no, like somebody just got burned really bad.
Well, because they always
Yeah, the guy that was in the space last night, Chuck, was like, he was getting burnt by stuff like that, like left and right, it seemed like.
you always see it on Raoul Paul's, like someone posting a video of Raoul Paul and it'll be on like the left side and it'll like send 5 Bitcoin, I'll send you 40. And it's just like, oh my God. Jeez.
I still can't believe the Luna shit, dude. Like every social media influencer, every fucking YouTuber, dude. I had hordes of people saying, dude, go all in on Luna. Oh my gosh. And I read the white paper multiple times because I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. Sounds decent. But I never put any money in, right? And everyone's still yelling at me like, Suckcat, you're fucking insane. Why aren't you like just pushing Luna? Luna's supposed to be the best thing on planet Earth. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Literally the day of the crash, I was like, okay, fine, I'll throw in $50. And then it went down to like negative whatever the fuck. I don't even know.
Yeah, I got rug pulled hard on that.
Luckily, I didn't touch it. Well, actually, I
got-
bought it when it was like $10, but then like it was way back a little when it just came out, and it went back down to like 7. I was like, "Fuck this! I'm just cutting my losses."
Yeah, I bought it at 6 and it went way up to like 200 at one point or something crazy. I forget. Yeah, and I had like 30 grand and I had invested like $500 or something. I forget.
I touched Luna and I touched USD and I got burned pretty bad. But I really loved the USD interface, like being able to use it, and you could even have exposure to US stocks through the Mirror protocol. Everything was really, to me, it seemed really great, but it just had this fundamental flaw at the base layer. And,
Yeah,
once that was exposed, the whole building came crashing down.
You know, it's crazy. He ran a test net for 2 months. It failed, and they concluded that it failed, but they just carried on with the main net.
The base is cached, right? Or was that what it was called? The first thing that he invented?
No, Luna.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, my personal view is that it could have worked. It's just that people misunderstood what Luna was. I mean, they thought Luna was an asset, but Luna is essentially a share of ownership in a kind of like a bank, and USD is a liability of that bank. And if they want to make it work, all the Luna holders will actually have to hold reserves equal to the USD outstanding. And clearly they weren't doing that, so it failed.
Well, they also announced their strategy on how they were going to back the UST, and I bought a shit ton of Bitcoin based off of Do Kwon saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna buy 10 billion in Bitcoin." I'm like, well, this is the time to buy Bitcoin, which, yeah, I not too bad. I'm still holding the Bitcoin, but it dropped from 43 to 20 or 17 at its lowest, of course.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was pretty high then.
Yeah, it was.
Whenever the majority of the market buys Bitcoin on leverage, you can expect the price to go down. It's
I figured that. I was just under the impression that 10 billion was going to fly into Bitcoin and it was going to pump. But for me, honestly, I don't give a shit because once a Bitcoin goes into my coffers, it never leaves. So it's not, to me, My thesis is it goes up to $1 million a coin.
Yeah,
So do I really care? Not really, long term. So I don't need the money right away. That's not an issue. I don't trade on leverage. That's
for
insane.
$100 if anyone wants it.
I'm a believer in the $1 million thing too.
I think it's going to be higher than $1 million. That's just kind of that's when I'm going to look at it and be like, hey, should I sell it now? and make that determination. At that point, because right now I've made the determination that never sell Bitcoin ever, and do everything I can to get more Bitcoin.
Well, next time it skyrockets, I'm going to take like a quarter out and then just let it go up. I'm going to take some profits because that's a major lesson I learned. Take profits. Like
Absolutely, yeah.
Definitely was too greedy this bull run. Didn't take. I had so much paper gains, and I did take a lot of profit. But like when I think about my portfolio all time high, I know you have to unmarry that, but like it's like you know.
And dude, a lot of these shorters are getting wrecked on their paper gains too. Like that one guy messaged me, he's like, "Bro, I'm gonna go buy a Lambo because I was shorting you guys," and then the next day, like he got wiped out. I'm like, haha, we squeezed you. Bitch.
Hey, does anyone have a timeline on the sell short squeeze? What's it looking like? Opinion only. I get it.
2 to 4 weeks. 99% unavailable sell. So
I saw that, which, but the FTX seems to find some out of their ass every fucking time it's depleted. That's what worries me.
I think they're like manipulating some kind of balance sheet or something because I saw it like I don't know if anyone else saw this, but I was looking at the Etherscan, and for whatever reason, it was like flickering. On like a couple days ago, it was like I saw 6 million, then I saw 7, then I saw 6, then I saw 7. It kept going back and forth, and I was like, "That's not possible."
Yeah, I saw something. I saw something real high. I don't know. Was it 6.9? Is it? What did you say? 7?
It was fluctuating by a million cell for like a day, and I was like, "What's going on? Like, you got like a private wallet or something?
Yeah,
Little stack cell, or you're bitching out or something, or you? What's going on here? Someone's flickering in and out with a million cell. It was weird."
yeah, I saw that.
I think they just have these hidden stashes. I mean, they can't cheat on the actual blockchain cell token. That's set in stone. We know exactly how many there are and which addresses have which portions. But they have these hidden addresses, and looks like they're transferring from those. So I mean, it makes sense, right? If you expose yourself and if your adversary knows how many cell tokens you have, they know like your liquidation price or whatever, and it would make sense for them to actually try to hide, like just like in a war, you don't want to expose yourself to the enemy, and in this case, they're trying to hide from us how many cell tokens they really have.
Yeah, I agree.